Okay, so I'm super excited to get on here and talk about why I moved to Germany because a lot of people always ask me this question, especially in my community, my circle back at home. Why Germany specifically? And honestly, I guess I'm just going to talk it through and kind of give you the reasoning, but let you know, first of all, that I did not have it all together. It's not because I came from money. It's not because I had this plan for years. I did not know any German before I moved to Germany. So I guess I'm jumping right into it actually. I made some notes, so if I'm looking down, it's because I'm looking at my little handy dandy notepad. Um, so first of all, I didn't move to Germany, like I said. I didn't move to Germany because I had it all figured out. In fact, I had just graduated from college from my 4-year university in Michigan. I come from Ohio, by the way. And I knew that I wanted to live abroad. It was a curiosity of mine for at least the last 7, 8 years because I had gone to China in 2015, so if my math is right, a long time basically. I had taken this trip to, and I always premise like this, but I had taken this trip to China in 2015 because I was studying Chinese at the time in my high school. And it was my first time leaving the country. Like I had no idea about other cultures and environments outside of the States. And this was my first time having this cultural experience, this completely different and new experience because I didn't come from a family where traveling internationally was really a thing. It wasn't something that is, I would say, a priority of ours or a value or something that my parents felt the need to teach me about. However, my mom and my father, both my parents, really encouraged me and they stood behind me when I told them that I wanted to travel to China for the first time, or that was the only time. But when I said that I wanted to travel to China, they were completely on board. I mean, my mom was a bit skeptical, which I understand. It's a new place, and I think we had a lot of ignorance about pretty much anywhere outside of the States. So yeah, I went to China in 2015, and after that I thought to myself, okay, I need to live abroad. Like, this is a life that I want for myself. I want to be able to experience this wonder and this excitement regularly. I don't want it to be something that I will never see again. Like, I was so eager. I was only there in China for 10 days. I was so eager to be in an environment and in a space like that where I was learning about this new place. Again, I wanted to travel more. So for like ever since then, I was craving distance. I was craving exposure and a new perspective. And for the longest time, I thought that I would go back to China and then live there and maybe even teach there because I had always known that I wanted to be a teacher. But I then, through my college, traveled to Italy, and it was my first time being in Europe. And so then my perspective changed. Okay, maybe I could see myself even living in Europe, somewhere in Europe. Maybe there's a country that fits my needs. And so then for about a year, I thought that I would live in Italy and that I would go to school in Italy. I didn't get accepted to this Italian university somewhere in like Padova, northern Italy. I don't know what happened there, but it just wasn't in the stars. It wasn't meant to happen. So I had graduated university. The master's program in Italy didn't work out, so I said, okay, I'm leaving. I am traveling abroad. I had money from my school to fund this dream of mine. It wasn't like my mom gave me money. Like, I had like this refund check from school, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to use it to buy another used car because I had just gotten into a car accident, like, I don't know, maybe like a year or so before. I don't really remember how how much in advance it had happened. But I was without a car for like a while. And I feel like a lot of people were telling me, oh, you should just, use that money to get a car. My family was telling me, you need a car. Get a car. My ex-boyfriend at the time was like, you need to stop asking me for rides. Like, you need to get a car. That's what you need, a car, because I'm tired of giving you rides. And I got so frustrated at this because I was like, I am not about to spend my money on another thing that I don't feel like I should be paying for. Like, I hate driving. It's not the lifestyle that I like. And that's partially why I moved abroad, is because I want to have a lifestyle that I feel like fits my needs. I don't want to be stuck in a car. I don't want to be driving. And at the time also, I should premise or also give clarity that at the time I was living in a city that allowed me to take public transportation. So that's what I was doing. I was used to it. This was the life that I was actually enjoying. I did not want a car. And I guess you could say, like, there's different lifestyles. People have different lifestyles, and I feel like I understand people who decide to own a car and pay car notes and things like that. But I felt like I was at this part, like I was in an intersection on a road where I could take different paths. I could do whatever I wanted almost. And my mind was like, ooh, okay, what kind of life can I create for myself? What do I want and how do I make it happen? And I don't want to say that this equates to me living a perfect life, because leaving the States does not equal perfection. But it was just a good timing. The timing was good. I had money, and I was willing to spend it on this. And so, I guess the foundation is that I needed space from familiarity. I'm just the kind of person that likes to be and around other cultures and people, and therefore I left the States to get space from, I'm like looking at my journal, but really it's like literally I just wanted to have a different cultural experience. That is really the foundation, is that I love cultures, whatever. I said that already, so I'm going to move on. Number 2. Even though I was super excited about leaving the States, I also wanted stability, because it was my first time living on my own. I was 22. My mom was crazy concerned about me after she realized that I was being serious about moving abroad. And so I wanted for myself a sense of stability, and therefore I became an au pair in Germany. And it was really scary looking for au pair families, because you don't meet them in person. Like, you're 4,000 miles apart, so I'm literally FaceTiming. Like, I was FaceTiming different families. Where am I going to go? Which city works best for me? Is this safe? And therefore, my mom ended up coming with me to ensure that I was, in fact, in a safe position. And I was. Everything ended up working out fine. I'm going to make a separate video on this, but you always need to do your research and make sure, especially if you're traveling alone and you don't have someone to come with you, make sure that you do your research. I spoke to the previous au pairs about their experience with this family that I ended up working for, to know that it was real and sure. So yeah, I think it was stable. They were also offering me a lot of benefits for working for their family, because they're really busy, and it felt very stable. Our conversations felt stable. I also followed my gut. Like, I made a lot of hard decisions, and it was coming from not certainty, but more like, okay, it feels right in here. And if you decide to do this for yourself, I feel like a lot is going to be unsure. It's very scary. Especially if you do what I did, you want to follow your gut. As a woman, I feel like we have intuition. I feel like we all have intuition. Follow your intuition, follow your gut. And that's what I did. And so I was in this position I was in this position where I didn't know what I was doing, but there was a sense of predictability and stability. And I say predictability because Germany isn't too different from the US. And I didn't 100% know that, but until I came here, and then I realized, like, yeah, this is, especially the city that I'm living in, feels very much like the States. But I would say it's also just because I think I watched a lot of videos leading up to moving abroad to Germany, and I heard a lot of anecdotes about people saying that it's safe, and especially about Black people. Black people saying that it's safe and it's okay, and their lives they're happy here, and for some people they're happier. And so I read articles, I watched videos, I really did the research before I made the decision to come to Germany specifically. But I will say that it was very much pretty solid and clear in terms of visa. When it came to obtaining a visa,